Right, surgery consult this morning. Mom's behind me. Hey, Mom. You ready for a surgery consult? Not for you, don't worry. In college, my gay best friend and I joked that if we hadn't found love by 40, we'd have a baby with each other. 20 years later, I'm pulling the ripcord. From deciding on solo motherhood to choosing IVF, I'm Meredith, and this is the backup plan. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the last chapter of my breast cancer scare. This is it. We're not going to talk about it anymore after this, all right? We're going to manifest that that's the reality. I hope you enjoy my background here. I live within walking distance of the Disneyland Hotel, and I was getting like major cabin fever yesterday working in my house all day long, and I just had to get out. And when you're, mere footsteps from the magic, you might as well just come over here. We call it WFD, working from Disney, rather than working from home. Good news awaits you at the end of this episode, and it took some doing to get there. A lot happened. It just happened in a really short amount of time. And I have saved recording the last little bits of this episode as long as I possibly could. I'm recording this on Tuesday, and I'll put it out tomorrow, because today is when I actually got the final news. So this episode's going to hop around a little bit because I took video throughout the journey that I took in this week that I'm sharing with you. I'll pop back in if there's any context that I need to add, but let's go back to my surgical consult appointment, shall we? Okay. Wild morning, went to my surgery consult. Mom came along because I wanted a second set of ears and because she has her history with breast cancer. And so I figured it would just be nice to be able to defer questions to her if they came up. And the surgeon was lovely.
She was a very nice lady.
Yeah, she's a very nice lady and explained things really, really well. It was stuff I already knew pretty much, but she just explained it in a way that was very easy to understand, especially in these heightened circumstances. And so when I mentioned, I was like, I really want to get this done as soon as possible. She was like tomorrow? Turns out there's been a cancellation. So she has tomorrow available. So today is all about surgery prep, because what are they doing to me?
They're putting either wires or a sounder.
A beacon
sound, yeah, like a beacon
in my boob, which I thought, I was like, I already have the coil. And she was like,
we can't see that.
They can't see it. Yeah.
She said they couldn't see it.
Yeah, which I'm like, well, then why is it there? So I have to go get either wires that point to it or this beacon so they can
they have a machine.
I don't understand. Whatever. Again, I am but a theater major. So 9 o'clock, I drove down to Irvine to meet in her office there. Now 1:45, I have to be in Costa Mesa to get my beacon implanted. And then tomorrow at 7:30, back in Newport for surgery.
Excision.
Yeah. And it's going to be easy. It sounds like it's not going to be any worse than the egg retrieval that I had. It's really not going to have much of a
just scooping it out.
Yeah, they're just going to
scooper.
They're just going to melon ball it out of me. And then she said the recovery is not much worse than what I got with a biopsy. So
here we are.
Well, here we are in the downtown Disney parking lot because I made reservations for us to go to Disneyland tonight because I thought we could just have a nice night at Disneyland after all this stupid stuff. Now we can't do that. So I'm like, well, we got to go for lunch because otherwise I'm going to get a mark on my record, my Disneyland permanent record. Going to have lunch at Disneyland and prepare for surgery. This is the worst part about driving to this hospital is when the 55 ends and it just becomes a signal. Do you agree?
I agree. I don't know why it's like this.
Stupid. Okay, as you can see, I am fully wrapped now. It wasn't that hard. Nana's driving.
That's harder, probably.
Yeah. But it's just local anesthesia again. I did take quite a bit of time to watch the wires hanging out of my boobs.
Oh, was it sticking up like a
No, they're
antenna?
more like out towards you. Like I could be like tickling you right now with them if they weren't wrapped up. What else? What
so
else?
they coiled them in a little circle?
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so I went in and I got another mammogram.
A basic.
Yeah. And then while in the mammogram machine, they stuck the wires in me. And then they did another mammogram. They kept doing mammograms.
This is all bringing back the stuff that I had that I didn't. I guess I tried to forget.
Well, I'm making you remember.
Yeah.
And then they had to do an ultrasound to make sure it was in the right spot. Oh, Hillary's calling. I'll FaceTime her. I'll FaceTime her individually. Okay, I'm gonna go FaceTime Hillary. Okay, I was a little woozy there, so I'm just gonna pop back in and say that the ultrasound was the last little bit of it. After that, they wrapped me up in a lot of bandages, much like they did for the biopsy, and that was that. They sent me on my merry way. Of all of the things that I had done from the very first mammogram up until what you're gonna see at the end of this video, this wire situation was the most painful thing that I went through because they had the wires were sticking out of me. They coiled them up and wrapped me up. And it's not like I could feel them moving around, but I knew that they were there. And going to sleep, I'm a side sleeper, was really just difficult. So after that, it was just going to bed and getting ready for the next morning. Woohoo, we're here. It's 6 a.m. and it's time for surgery. What do you think, Mom?
We're going to get this over with. All I keep thinking about is get it over.
I love how much surgery I've had this year. This is so cool.
Coming in at a different angle.
Surgery, I am a pro at this point because I've had 2 egg retrievals, I've had my bunion surgery, I've had my neuroma removal, so surgery is just old hat for me at this point. It was nice to have it done in a hospital this time, I'll say. Everything else has been in a sort of an outpatient scenario. I don't know, it just felt more official to be in a hospital. Hogue is really great. I'm really happy to be going there and to be treated there. I just couldn't believe how quickly it all happened. All of the nurses that were coming in and taking care of me were remarking, like, this is wild. Like, we haven't ever seen anything take place this quickly. For those of you who haven't had major surgery before, you go in and you have your own little room to get ready in. You get changed into a surgical gown and just lie down and let everybody else fuss around you and put your IVs in. And they keep asking you over and over, like, what's your name? What are you having done? What are you allergic to? Just, they're just worried about malpractice. But, it went well. The bed was heated. That was really cool. They had a TV waiting for me. So I watched a little HGTV before I went in. And then, the anesthesiologist comes in and they start giving you some of that good stuff where you don't care. And then once the anesthesia starts setting in, like, you just go away. I always have a hard time, like, remembering what's the last thought I remember having before it all blanks out. And then you wake up in recovery, and I think I was there for probably about 45 minutes, maybe an hour. I woke up, I took a little nap, I woke back up, and then my mom came and got me and took me home. And yeah, it was almost 2 weeks ago at this point, which is crazy. Recovery wasn't terrible. They sent me home in a tube top that was pretty uncomfortable. It had some rough edges. Like, it had those little tiny loops that you could put a strap on, and they didn't give me the straps. So those little loops just kept scratching at me. It's terrible. Not as much wrapping as I had for the biopsy and the wires and everything. So that was kind of weird. Once I took it off, I had some pretty gnarly bruises for sure. My mom said that my boob looked like a mango, so that was cool. After 48 hours, I could shower, and after that, it was just sports bras that zippered up the front, which I had to buy from Amazon because I didn't have any. And Yeah, it's really not that bad. I think it's dissolvable stitches that I have. They did 2 steri strips. The incision is just like right along the edge of my nipple, so you're like not even really going to see it when all is said and done. I am surprised at how quickly I recovered. Less than a week later, I was at the Anaheim Convention Center working the D23 convention. Sorry, the D23, D23, the ultimate Disney fan event. It was working that with Christina, like less than a week later. Any concern that I had over like this recovery was eclipsed by the fact that I tripped and twisted my ankle. Whoops, I'm a klutz. It's been a week and some change since the surgery, and got a message this morning while I was FaceTiming with Hillary. Okay, let's see. Logging in with my Face ID. Let's see. I have some info. I don't have cancer. I have no cancer.
Yay! Love that.
Radial scar with usual ductal hyperplasia. Normal.
Yeah.
Columnar cell hyperplasia. Hope that's not bad.
Classic.
Fibroadenomatous changes.
That I have.
Well, I have that in the other boobie.
Twinsies.
Negative for atypia or malignancy.
We love that. We love it.
That's the one. All right, time to get this implantation on schedule. Let's go.
Get her done.
So that's it, guys. What a fun 2 weeks. 15 days. It was 15 days from first mammogram to lumpectomy. I cannot believe it went so quickly. I am very proud of my proactivity and my stick-to-itiveness and just making sure it all got done as quickly as I could make sure it got done. And I think just telling people along the way that I'm in the middle of IVF. Could we speed this along, please? I think it worked. Like, people seem to really care about my predicament and what I was going through, and I'm ready to get going. So I got to send off a message to Dr. Sunheimer. It's been a wild month. I never thought I'd go from first mammogram to lumpectomy in 15 days. Happy to report that my final results came in and I'm cancer-free. I'm excited to jump back into frozen embryo prep. Dancing lady emoji. It's sent. It's off. I'm getting ready. And there we go. Hopefully next week I have like dates and everything ready to go. We'll just be on our merry way. I don't know what's going to come next in this process. It's been a wild, woolly expedition. I'm releasing this episode exactly 1 year after I released my first podcast episode. I did not expect this to turn into a YouTube adventure. I did not expect to still be going through all this a year later. I did not expect to be doing IVF a year later or at all. Life is kind of crazy. And to go back in time and look at the episodes that I've done and to see how far I've come, it's just in my thought process, not necessarily physically, because I'm still not pregnant, but I do have 3 embryos in a freezer. And I have changed my mind about a lot of things. And I have made friends along the way. I do feel like I'm on the right path. I'm really excited still, somehow. Usually I'm discouraged when things take this long, but this next year is going to be different because I'm already so much further than I was. And thanks to everybody who's been listening from the start. Thanks to everybody who's joined in recently. Please subscribe. Please support in any way you can. Reviews, thumbs ups, following on social media, because this next year is going to be the one where the rubber hits the road. Thanks, everybody, and see you later. The Backup Plan is created, produced, and hosted by me, Meredith Kate. Julian Hagans is my co-producer. You can find us on social media at Backup Plan Pod. The best place to get updates is to sign up for our newsletter at backupplanpod.com, where we also post all episodes, show notes, and transcripts. Thank you for listening.